You might have to catch a plane for this. You gon' have to say my name for this.
What is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. This is LD Photo, part of the Lifestyles Defined group. And this particular video is an AMA. And if you're new here, you're not sure how this works, you leave your question in the comment section down below and we answer it in upcoming videos. Today's question from Beatriz. Hello. For the past months, I have been searching for a camera. The first idea I got was a Nikon D100. I thought it was too heavy and it was fine. I'm not a pro, so I understand that. I thought about buying a mirrorless, for example, the Fuji X-T20. Woof. Do you have a good proposal for me? It can be a DSLR instead of a mirrorless. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I asked a pretty cut and dry question, but I responded back and I said, all right, I need some more information. What type of photography will you be doing and what is your budget? I really like to take pictures, including people. That's why I also thought about getting a 50mm. That's cool, so portraits. But I usually don't have a specific type of photography. When I had a camera, I used it where or whenever I go, to be with my friends or for a trip, for example. And that's why I thought about mirrorless, because of the weight. But the cons of a small battery gets me thinking. About the budget, I am from Portugal. $700 would be my limit. I'll tell you what, there's a few things in there that I see that I want to correct. For instance, this whole mirrorless thing with batteries, whatever. I mean, yes, a DSLR battery will last you forever and a day, but it's not like your mirrorless camera is gonna die, you know, faster than your iPhone and just leave you stranded. Get on Amazon and order some batteries as well with it. They're not that expensive. Even if you get the original or the official Sony batteries, Olympus batteries, whatever, it's not that bad. So don't let the battery thing and what you heard about, because they're comparing it to other cameras, but that by no means that it's a bad performing camera. Like, you'll still get your shots. Also, the concept of DSLRs being heavy and mirrorless being light, I still got to put that in perspective. You know, yes, DSLRs are a bit thicker, more chunky. They're also more comfortable to hold. But let's not get it twisted. You go out there and you buy a Sony full frame camera, and you put a Sony full frame E-mount lens on there. It's also big and it's also heavy. I want to just, you know, bring you back. Don't let those things that you hear people sort of beat into your head. Don't listen to that. Now, for your budget, if you found or you came up on that Fuji X-T20, my God, that is an amazing camera. There's the Olympus at that price range that you can look into, which is one of my personal favorite, the EM10 Mark II, the OMD EM10 Mark II. I love that camera to bits. That, the X-T20 in the Sony world, you'd be looking at maybe an A6000 with some good lenses at that price. The Canon, the Nikon world, yeah, you got it down with a D3100. That's a good one. In the Canon world, you get you something like I guess a T6i or T7i, whatever is popping at the time, whatever deal you can find, because you can find those things on deals all over the place. But there's nothing about what you said here that leads me in a specific direction, and I see why you're asking, because you've got some things that you absolutely need, but you're also open to most things. I think at this point it would be about getting the most bang for the buck. And that could include something like Canon and Nikon. You know, the DSLR, because DSLRs are not trending anymore and mirrorless is the buzzword, you can get some crazy deals on DSLR cameras. And not only the camera itself, but the lenses. And by and large, the lenses in the Canon and Nikon world are a lot cheaper and a lot easier to come by. You can buy them for used or secondhand from people for dirt cheap. So that's something to consider. Sure, I see you wanted a 50mm, but you know, you might be able to get you one of these Nikons or Canons with a 50 mil and an 85 millimeter because you've got so much money to play with, right? So that's something to consider. I am partial to mirrorless. I would ask you, besides the X-T20, and it's interesting that you're drawn to that, it's a beautiful camera. So if you like that aesthetic, take a look at the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark II, even a Mark I if you want to save some money. But I would start with the Mark II. It's a good middle ground, a lot of improvements there. I think you are most of the way. I think you've already done most of your research. So at this point, it's about finding a deal, waiting for a holiday, and finding a good bundle, and just pulling the trigger. Don't worry about the weight of a DSLR when out and about. Listen, you're a photographer, and this is your tool, and this is the price you pay of walking with your tool. It's not like you're a professional where you're walking with 2 and 3 of these cameras and every lens conceivable that makes your bag 20 pounds. It's your camera and a lens. It's gonna go in the bag anyway. It's all good. Don't let that deter you from a Nikon or a Canon. You know, there's still some good deals to be had. In fact, if there's, I see you said you're in Portugal. I don't know if there's any camera stores or Best Buy type stores where you can go and get your hands on these cameras. You might actually prefer the feel of a traditional DSLR. Every time I hold a Canon or Nikon, it's such a lovely feeling, and also shooting with those Fujis, that's also a lovely feeling. So let me know what you pick. You know, this was a tough question. I wasn't able to steer you in a specific direction, but I feel like you should just go with the best bang for your buck. You know, I've even seen some of these Canon T6I's bundles on sale where you get the camera and 2 kit lenses. That would be an amazing start. And some of them actually include a 50 millimeter and then a regular zoom. So that's something you should look into. LD Familia, you guys have any tips? Jump in the comment section down below. Leave some recommendations for the homie, and we'll see what happens from there. If you like the video, like it. If you like the content, subscribe. We got plenty more coming. My name is Ramon, and I'm out of here. Peace.
Well, I guess, and the reason we started Lifestyles Defined is because if we weren't on camera arguing about these things, the technologies, the phones, the iPhones, the Androids, the cameras, the games, we'd be on the phone arguing about it. We'd be in each other's houses arguing about it. So why not just put it in front of a camera for everyone to enjoy it the way we do? That's what Lifestyles Defined is all about. We just